Hello, wildlings. I'm your Creepsmith, and you found my Fear Forge. Lucky you. Welcome back, wildlings, and thank you for listening to How Tommy Really Died by Alex Ross. Recently published as part of the collection Light Under the Lake and Other Tales from the Abyss, available on Amazon at the address below. These days, when people ask me if I have any siblings, I just say no. But I used to. Just for a while. Tommy was my little brother, and by the time he was 3, we were best buddies. I remember how we used to wake up about 5 a.m. on Saturdays to watch cartoons and kick up a hell of a ruckus until Mom and Dad booted us out of the house. Then we'd go play on our swing set, or maybe try to skip stones at the creek, or just run around. But he got sick that next fall. It wasn't anything too bad, just a common cold, or so we thought. My parents didn't really do anything about it. They just figured that they'd let it run its course. And Tommy was a tough kid anyway. That poor kid probably went through a pack and a half of Kleenex every single day. But that didn't help at all. He was sneezing every other minute, spewing snot all over the place, and I wouldn't have spent much time around him if my parents didn't make me, and if he weren't my little brother. That's how we ended up in the garage that day. We went out to run around, but because of his cold, Tommy got tired after just a few minutes. We were heading back inside when he sneezed on me. Call it the straw that broke the camel's back. All of a sudden, he started yelling about this cold and how gross it was to sneeze on everything and everyone, and he sneezed on me again. And that's when he really lost it. My dad had a pegboard of tools on the wall. Tommy reached up and grabbed a hammer and hit himself in the face with it a good 4 or 5 times. Smack, 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 until he went down. Then he hit himself again and again and again. Smack, 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 crunch. I think that I was in shock until then. I literally couldn't believe what had just happened. And when I did, I went to help him, but I stopped when I got closer to him. I tried to write about what his face looked like a few times. I couldn't do it. All I can say is that his nose was smashed in, along with his teeth and, well, the entire front of his face. His skull had basically opened up. But something was moving in there. Something was wiggling around past a part of his skull on the inside, and for a while I thought it was a huge living booger. And in a way, it kind of was. It was a slug. The first of a few that the doctors said were living inside his nasal cavity. All the slime they were producing, that's what was making him sneeze so much. Because of the way it had happened, I think my parents told everyone that Tommy died in an accident. I'm not really sure, and they're no longer around for me to ask them what they said. My friends from school didn't buy that, so when they asked me how Tommy really died, I told them the same thing that I told the cops, which is the crap that I just wrote. But that's not how Tommy really died. See, Tommy was bent over and sneezing uncontrollably. He couldn't have reached Dad's hammer. But me? I could. So whether it's the insanity of war or the evil of the moment, sometimes memories can be just as bad as the worst writer's imagination. Thanks for listening, wildlings. Stay scary and make the most of your nights.